Welcome back. Everything has changed lately, and that includes the way community groups are helping the homeless in our community. Amy Rowell is with the Guest House of Milwaukee, a group that's adjusting to the way that it serves the homeless in safe and healthy ways. Hey, Amy.
Good morning, Tiff. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks. I'm so happy that you're joining us to chat about this because it's something I know that you've worked with long and hard in the guest house. And I want everyone to know just kind of how are you dealing with it? How is the staff? How are the people that you serve handling the community issues right now?
So I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to connect because what's really most important for me to get out this morning is that we are still providing all of the amazing services that we do on a daily basis. We're still providing emergency shelter for adult men at our main facility on 13th, and we're still reaching about 450 households that are community based, which I think a lot of people don't know about. We've talked many times over the years about how guest houses truly offers more than shelter, and it really has been very visible to most people lately, just because we have all the expanded services in the community that we're still looking for support.
So, how have you adjusted the service delivery part of what you do?
So, Guest House has always been very good about being proactive and forward thinking. And we started thinking about how we might need to adjust services way back in February, maybe even a little bit before. We really have always been at the forefront of being innovative in that way. And so we started thinking several months ago about what this might look like today and hoping that we would have the scenario in place that we could accommodate to that. So, for example, on site and shelter, we shifted our beds to be head to toe. So, example, previously all of the heads would kind of be on one side of the room. We've now alternated. So, one individual's bed, their head might be at the wall, and then the other individual, their feet might be at the wall. So, really allowing for a lot of social distancing within the dorms. We've really sort of driven home as best we can all of those universal precautions: washing hands, staying home if you have any symptoms of illness, and now, of course, adding in social distancing as well as masks and facial coverings.
How do you see this affecting you long term? Because it seems like in the short term, you've really made adjustments that matter to try and keep people safe. But I think about the long term effects that this could have on our homeless population.
Yeah, it definitely is very important that we don't lose sight of what's to come 6, 9, 12 months from now, and making sure that not only are we adjusting and pivoting to be able to accommodate the needs right now, but what will this look like long term? The short and long of it is nobody really knows. This is very different than the recession of 2008, 2009. It's very different than some of the other obstacles from a fundraising and development standpoint that we've had to overcome over the years. So we're working with our community. All the shelters are getting together on a regular basis, and with the city and county officials, really taking a lot of advice from the health department so that we can make sure that everybody is staying safe and healthy. In the short term, we've adjusted our volunteer program. Obviously, we can't have volunteers on site right now. We want to keep our building as healthy and safe as possible, as well as our greater community. So we're doing a lot of curbside drop-offs. So we very deliberately have put a plan in place. So when an individual pulls up with a needed donation, we have a staff member that can go out, leave the cart at the curbside, step away, allow the donor to load the cart, and then they will leave before the staff member retrieves the cart. So really allowing all that social distancing that has been talked about so much. And then long term, we'll just have to wait and see. You know, again, as I mentioned, we support about 450 households that are community based. And those individuals, we don't yet know what their differing needs might be. Right now, we're providing a lot of non-perishable foods and other things to those households that we normally wouldn't have to provide. So we'll have to
That's
wait and
right.
see, but Guest House has always been prepared and to pivot in those ways.
It's true. You are very forward thinking. I always appreciate that about everything that you do. When we look to the ways that the community can support you, I know you've got this big event. It's the UNDY 500, which typically culminates with the Indy 500. But this year, you're
Yes.
still doing the event even without the Indy, right?
We are, that's right. So even though the Indy 500 has been postponed until later in the year, we can't wait to receive some of these items. So we think we're very creative. Undy and Indy, sort of a play on words. So during the month of May, we have historically invited teams to form within the community, collect new packages of underwear, t-shirts, socks, and then on our in Indy, usually the Undy 500 falls the Thursday before Indy, people would drop off their items. We're shifting this year to be virtual based. So we've created an Amazon wish list that has everything that we feel like we need for the next 6 months or so. And that will include something that's a little different than our supporters are used to seeing. We've added women's underwear and women's bras. Again, with all those households that we're supporting in the community, we have women that are within those programs. So women's and men's undergarments this year. So individuals can go out to our website, find the links direct to the Amazon wish list, purchase items in that gift receipt, put their team name so that we know when the items come in of who to account those for. So there still will be a winner this year. We just won't be able to gather in person to celebrate.
Sounds good. It's still a competition, so we can get together and do
Yes.
good together. Thanks for joining us, Amy.
Yes. Thanks so much.
Yep, the information for the UNDY 500 to support the guest house, which is more than shelter, is during the month of May, the donation drive. You sign up with your team, and here's how you do that. Go to guesthouseofmilwaukee.org to do that. They're collecting underwear, undershirts, bras, etc. You make your wish list on Amazon and compete to win.